What are we about to do right now? We're going to take a look at this Bhad Bhabie and Dr. Phil situation and why it's actually incredibly upsetting and disturbing. The reason this matters is Bhad Bhabie recently made some allegations towards Dr. Phil and several other people, which are pretty serious and should be paid attention to. Before we do that though, let's do a common shout out from our last video. D'Angelo, you are what I imagine my childhood cat would be like as a human. Well, they've done it. They've broken me down to my bare essentials. So the first person this involves is Bhad Bhabie, also known as Danielle Bregoli, also known as the Cash Me Outside girl. Then the other person involved is Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil needs no introduction and he needs no active psychology license. Apparently, Bhad Bhabie has demanded an apology over something that happened on the show. So we're going to go ahead and get into that. But first, let's get into today's sponsor, HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. So I kind of want everything, but I don't want to have to do anything to get it. So like when I think about my ideal food, it's something that I've cooked myself, made with fresh ingredients. But then when I think about actually going out and buying those ingredients and then having to come up with or find a recipe myself, no, but that hole in my heart is literally shaped like HelloFresh. They deliver packages full of fresh ingredients and recipes for balanced meals with fruit, vegetables, and meat directly to your door, all in a box. That's surprisingly easy to recycle. You can choose how much food you want from week to week, and you can skip weeks altogether depending on your needs. And they have options for kids, low calorie meals, no meat, and it is all delicious, and I can vouch for that, having made this myself. It should almost be illegal, but you can go to hellofresh.com and use code 12D'Angelo to get 12 free meals, including free shipping. It's time to save time and eat better. Now let's get back to the video. After this disastrous interview where she says the line, "Catch me outside, how about that?" Months after the Catch Me Outside, how about that interview, Dr. Phil sends her to the mythical ranch.
Tell me about Turnabout Ranch.
It's a program.
How did you do there?
And that is actually the basis of this entire story that we're about to go through. She goes on to explain that this ranch contained a bunch of abusive adults and that nobody said anything about it.
I was 13 years old when I went to Turnabout Ranch. I kept my mouth shut for so long. You have no evidence. You don't have a phone there. They don't have cameras there. Like, there's no evidence.
I think there's a lot of situations like this where you can't necessarily provide proof for things that happened, and it really is just going to be your words against hers.
A young lady, her name is Hannah, she recently spoke out because while she was there, she was sexually assaulted, and then when she reported that she was assaulted, she was punished by staff. I knew, like, okay, I really have to say something. Like, I really have to have her back on this because I truly believe that they did that.
I honestly really appreciate this. I really think, like, for once, honestly, she's using her platform perfectly.
Dr. Phil, I am going to give you from now till April 5th to issue an apology, not only to me, but to Hannah and any other child that you sent to Turnabout or any other program like this. And if you don't, I'm gonna handle things my way.
She's gonna catch him outside.
Turnabout is in the middle of Escalante, Utah. It's a very small town. Took in there against my will. They give you transporters. Transporters are two people that come in the middle of the night. They don't tell them where they're going. They just take them, they handcuff them, they put them in the car. It's basically like kidnapping.
That's like 1000% definitely kidnapping.
So for the first 3 days you're there, is no showering. They put you in a circle, which is it's a teepee, and you have to sit there for 3 days. They wouldn't let me lay down for nothing. I was falling asleep and they were like, get up, get up.
Sleep deprivation? What is that supposed to be teaching a child?
They take away like necessity privileges, like sleeping on a bed, eating good food, not being cold. If you reported another kid getting bullied by like their peers or something, they would just say, well, maybe that's what they need.
It always comes down to a circle of adults who just turn the other way.
Even though there was written rules, if a staff was angry at the moment, or if you just did something that they felt was bad, you would get your own punishment. You have to go in reflection, walk in the arena for hours on end, sit outside in the cold, on the floor. You have to pick up piles in a wheelbarrow of horse.
It's kind of giving me child labor vibes with all the wood chopping and all of that stuff.
That's why I was always so scared to speak out, because it's like, no one's gonna believe me. Writing letters to my mom, like, Mom, I will do anything. Like, you don't understand what this place is like.
So she's not gonna blame her mother, but I'll go ahead and blame her mother for her. That is so weird. That's such weird behavior.
One of the kids, he had tried to steal a car or something. Everyone was screaming on the walkies like it was really crazy, and he ended up killing one of the staff members. They made all the kids that were at Roundy come down, and then they told us how to tell tell us anything. Every kid that's at Turnabout, they have us all sit in a circle and they're like, listen, Jimmy died.
I'm sorry, how traumatic is that? You get put in a strange ranch with a bunch of other presumably poorly behaved children that you don't know, and then one of them just kills the staff member. Legitimately, like, trauma. It's trauma.
Mother of the kid Clay who killed the staff, she was married to the brother of the president of the program, which I also believe is a conflict of interest. I don't know why they would do that. What parents need to understand is if your child is acting out because of trauma, like sexual abuse, or the kid's parents got divorced, or just anything like that, you don't send your kid to a program like this.
I never thought I would say this about Danielle Bhad Bhabie Bergoli, but did she lie? It's been nothing but facts the entire time.
Doing it to kids who are so helpless, you know that you're watching their letters, you know that they don't have any contact with their parents. I'm not really sure why Dr. Phil still sends kids here. It really doesn't make sense. Like, are you trying to help them or are you trying to hurt them even more? Just the abuse, the malnourishing, physical abuse, mental abuse, all that. And this place is still up and running. It just doesn't make sense.
That's bizarre. I want to take a look at some of the responses that people are giving to it. It bothers me when someone's a victim of abuse or anything like that, and then they also do things that are not great, and people start acting like those two have things to do with each other. That's ridiculous. But people want to say, oh yeah, well, you did this, therefore I'm not going to listen to you about that. Just so we're clear, do not go and harass anybody I'm about to mention. Thankfully, the top comment has their facts straight. I just know y'all are not saying she wants clout. Sis is opening up about being assaulted and abused, and the first thing y'all think of is clout. People are acting like she said Drake stepped on my foot one time at a party. What I'm saying is that is not, oh, let me talk about this obscure place I went to at age 13 to stand in solidarity with another victim. She's washed and wants clout again, no doubt at all. No one ever likes you more because you opened up about abuse. The only thing opening up about abuse does is help other victims and unfortunately make you the target of literally even more abuse. I kind of appreciate that this was commented because I do want to get into this. She's done and said a lot of not okay stuff, to put it nicely. Your reputation plays a part when it comes to serious stuff like this. So basically, no, it doesn't. Your reputation has absolutely nothing to do with whether or not you should or should not be believed when you come forward about things like this. Does Dr. Phil own that ranch? Is he there during the day-to-day operations? If no, then she should be demanding an apology for them, not Dr. Phil. He's a TV show personality, recommended a camp that had to deal with the network. First of all, Dr. Phil is a psychologist, but he let his license expire, right? As someone with a doctorate in psychology, you would definitely understand that a ranch doesn't really help kids, right? A victim comes forward. People always start at, let's analyze the survivor. Let's analyze their story. And they never start at, let's look at this famous person. Why did they assault someone? That's it. If you would start there, all of this nonsense tweets that I'm going through would never have been tweeted. Here's the last one. If Danielle Bergoli was sexually abused, she needs to make a police report. A 13-year-old? What? She didn't actually say anything about being abused, but she did kind of allude during one part that she was acting out because of some form of abuse. When people go to the police, then people start finding other ways of blaming you. Oh yeah? Why are you making it public? So the final piece of this puzzle is Dr. Phil's quote unquote response. Just so we're on the same page. Her video came out over 24 hours ago. And all these tweets I'm bringing up happened about 19-ish hours ago. Meaning Dr. Phil started doing this immediately after her video goes up. He starts live tweeting about RuPaul's Drag Race. I think it's really, really obvious that this is some bizarre attempt at like deflection. When Dr. Phil was trending, when you clicked in, it was like a mix of Drag Race and also the Danielle Bergoli situation. So he or whoever that was actually did successfully cut down on the amount of, hey, we think Dr. Phil is complicit in this weird abuse situation by distracting people with RuPaul's Drag Race. And I think that that is bizarre. So in conclusion, what do I think about all of this? As for Bhad Bhabie, I'm extremely glad that she spoke up about it. As for Dr. Phil, thankfully he's not accused of actually abusing anyone in this situation, but being complicit in this kind of stuff definitely warrants an apology. And if there's anything to learn from this, it's just that nothing good happens in Utah. Anyway, I'll be here all week, folks, at 2 p.m. Central Time. If it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that means I'm uploading a new video here. If it's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, that means I'm going live over on Twitch. So basically what I'm saying is I'll see you tomorrow. Unless of course tomorrow is Sunday, in which case just watch this video again. Okay, bye.